Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode of Overcoming Graduation with Brian Drury, a show where I work to teach you everything I wished I'd known about habits and mindset to help you begin creating your dream life today. Today is another installment of The Morning Commute, where I take my ride to work in the morning to share a short but powerful message with you to help you kick your day off on the right foot. And today's message is this: the same old problems. Have you ever found yourself in a situation over and over again? And you find yourself going, why does this keep happening? Sometimes you ask yourself, sometimes you ask just the open air, sometimes you're asking God, why does this keep coming into my life? Why do you keep allowing this to happen? You look at yourself, Brian, why do you keep doing this? Why do these same problems keep coming up? Why do I feel like the same things happen in my dating relationships? Why does it feel like I just keep having the same mindset issues? Why do I keep doing the same bad habits or performing the same bad habits with my body in terms of what I eat or how I act or how I don't act? Why do I feel stuck? It seems like no matter what I do, I keep repeating these patterns. Now, I've found this topic, in terms of habits, to be intensely fascinating because of the connotation it has. Because when we understand why we keep doing things that we say we don't want to do, or why we keep doing things that we know are bad for us, or we keep getting into relationships that we know are not healthy, when we do those things, there's always a question of why the hell would I do that? Why would I drink to the point that I blacked out? Why would I smoke cigarettes if I knew they were bad for me? Why would I continue to stay at a job that I hate and not do anything about it? Not look for a new job, not change the way I'm looking. Why do we stay there? And I've dug into this a lot, and it's one of the areas that, as I continue to learn more about it, it enables me to approach it differently and to use the knowledge to benefit versus look at the situation as just being frustrating or applying it to my identity and saying, well, I'm just a person who does X. What's really interesting about this, why do we keep having the same old problems? We can look at it as a reality, and that's just it, and that's what you have to face, or there's a reason it keeps coming up. Now, whether you're religious or not, whether you believe it's God or the universe or there's nothing, whatever you believe, I think these things continue to recur for a reason if we choose to see that reason. And you could look at it as a call to greatness. That this is showing you, as something that my mentor Sean Stevenson says, that the bad things in our life are actually a gift because they're showing us, or the things that we get frustrated about, things that keep happening, they are a gift because they're showing us where our work needs to be done. For me, it's like, man, why do I overreact over little things so much? Why do I get stuck? And if you listen to the earlier episode, allow negative thoughts to hijack my mind. Why do I get so hung up? There could be a billion good things going on, but if I stub my toe, or I got a edge on my nail, got a hangnail or something, I can get obsessed on that versus the incredible, brilliant, beautiful things that are happening around me. Why does that keep happening? Why does it feel like my relationships end the same each time? Why does it feel like, as much as I grow and as much as I change and as much as I'm shifting things, I end up living that same relationship over and over? Come on, God, why? I thought I changed. I thought I grew. Why do you keep feeding me this? Why do you keep giving me this type of girl that I end up with this? Isn't that funny? I mean, it's true. It's honest. I've had those thoughts. I've been in those situations where, God is just throwing these things at me just for shits and giggles. Just, there you go. Yep, same thing. Here's what I've come to realize, though. I have grown. And I've grown in many, many ways, especially in my dating relationships. When I was younger, you think back to high school and college, I stayed in extremely unhealthy relationships. Now, not necessarily not to the degree of, let's say, necessarily abuse, but unhealthy to the point where I just felt miserable and I was not appreciated and I was codependent and I was jealous and at times I was possessive. And so when I'm saying unhealthy, I'm not just pointing the finger because I recognize I played my part in this too. And rather than see, oh, I realize this is wrong and maybe we don't want each other the same way, or maybe we're just hanging out with each other to have a quick hookup or whatever. Instead of seeing that, I had such a low self-image that I wasn't willing to step away because I said, well, this is what is supposed to make me happy. This is what's supposed to make me complete as a human being, as a man, as a person is, yeah, you grow up and you find a woman and she loves you and then you do it. You find your romantic partner, you find your other half, you find your this, and then you can be happy. It's one of the biggest destination fallacies that society puts into our mind. You know, once we have the job and the spouse and the finances and the this and the that, then we can be happy. And how many times was so desperate to just get to be with a girl that I rushed. I ignored obvious red flags. I just said, oh, like I decided to see what wasn't actually there, but what I wanted to see. It's like, you know, we're out and there's some snacks out and she hands me a pretzel. I'm like, oh my God, she's so generous and giving and she's a contributor and she gives back to the world. It's like, whoa. Maybe you're running away with that a little bit, Brian. No, she's super giving. I'm trying to think of other examples where I would like choose to see what I wanted to see, and it could be like, you know, she just kicked a puppy, and it's like, well, that puppy was kind of an asshole. You know, it's like I'm trying to create the reality I want because I wanted to have a girlfriend so bad that I was willing to overlook obvious things and maximize or intensify small things in the positive. Now, what's interesting too, even as I'm talking about this, I'm realizing how I will behave in the opposite way for myself. In that I will intensify negative and small things and minimize large, beautiful, wonderful things, like great things to enjoy. And that's something I'm working to recondition now. And it's an interesting, and I know you use the word interesting a lot on the show, but it really is. Like, this whole journey is interesting. It's fascinating. It sparks my curiosity. But it's crazy to see that. And it's also crazy to see how challenging it can be to just love myself, which I'm doing every morning now. I have my self-love mirror work document. I literally wrote out self-love phrases to say in the mirror as I do my morning routine. And guys, if you listen to my show, you know I'm not just a talker. I'm not big on the idea of the secret, just manifesting things and say it and it will be so. I believe there is power in that when it's paired with action. That's where it's like, I believe the positive belief and the ideas and the concepts in seeing yourself in a way and believing in your capacity and potential, that is huge. And then acting to demonstrate it to yourself, to reinforce it with your conscious and unconscious mind, that's where the real change happens. So why do we keep having those same repeat problems? And where are we actually growing that we're not seeing? Because when I looked at relationships, this just popped into my head the other day as I was thinking about a speech I'm writing. I'll be giving this speech this coming weekend, and so I was thinking about different concepts to incorporate, and it was like, well, why do we keep having the same problems? And I thought about it with dating relationships, and I was like, man, you know, it seems like every time I come in, I see one thing, and then the reality of who she actually is totally different. And I feel unfulfilled, that many times I don't feel loved. And I was thinking about it. And in the two most recent relationships that I've had, I have had the healthiest and best breakups I've ever had. And I didn't wait for the girl I didn't wait for her to say, you know, this sucks, or like we should end this. I was willing to take a stand for myself. And also be clear on what I wanted and what I didn't want. And instead of like flip-flopping and compromising my values or what I actually wanted, because again, I would do anything to keep the relationship. Well, that's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to work. But it was the deep insecurity of like, I need to have this to be happy. So I'll do, that's what I want. Of course. Like we haven't talked in 4 or 5 days. Like that's totally what I want. It's not what I want at all. Like when you get to that quiet, knowing, deep voice I heard one of my good friends call it your higher consciousness, God, whatever. It's like when you hear that quiet voice that goes, dude, you know this isn't what you want. You know this job is not what you want to be. You know this girl or this guy is not right for you. You know you're not meant to be here. You know you don't want to go to that same party you've been going to over and over again. You know that there's something greater for you in this life. You know you want to start writing that book. When you hear those voices, it's interesting how quick we are to ignore them and push them away because of the insecurity, the fear, the ego, all that stuff comes up. But what I realized was, in my most recent relationship, for example, as soon as it became clear that not just, hey, we're adjusting, we're getting to know each other. All right, we have some differences and quirks, and that's going to happen, okay? But when we hit a point where it's like, we are fundamentally different people with fundamentally different values. We have a different definition of what love is. And even in a conversation, she said very honestly, and that's something I give her a lot of credit for because she was extremely honest, she said, I don't think I could ever love you the way you want to be loved. And some people might be, oh, that's harsh, or how could... Thank God. No, like, guys, like, that's honest. I would much prefer that level of honesty over someone telling me what they think I want to hear. That's what I want. What I want to hear is the truth and the honesty and the expression, because her saying that, the next time we saw each other, I said, listen, I think it's time to end this. And I was able to step away. And when I thought about, well, God, why do you keep putting these people in my life? This just clicked into my head. There was a lesson I needed to learn. And I believe that lesson was this. And God said to me, listen, Brian, you when you were younger, you had lots of situations where you felt like you should have gotten out of the relationship soon. And you didn't. And you were worried about getting stuck in a bad relationship. You were worried that if you got into another relationship that was wrong, you wouldn't have the strength to step away. I needed you to show yourself that you would be strong enough to step away from something unhealthy and that you can get better and better at it. You can get clearer and clearer. And why did you need to learn this? Well, I needed you to show yourself this so that when I bring the right person into your life, when you meet the right person that's actually meant for you, that you don't have any doubts of why you're in that relationship. You're not worried of whether or not you're in there because of fear, being afraid of letting go. That as you grow and you learn these lessons and you do the work, that you'll see that you're in that relationship because you absolutely want to be there. You're 100% clear on that. But I need you to go through these things in order for you to see that clearly. I need you to show yourself what you're capable of and reinforce it a couple times. Because, Brian, you're having trouble picking up this lesson, man. So we got to do some reps on this. But you're getting clearer, better, stronger, happier, and enjoying things more. And it's amazing the things that have come as a result of being able to end things at a healthy place. For myself and for others. Because I ended up giving a speech at the place that she works. And it led to something massive. And so, recognizing the repeat problems in your life are coming up for a reason. And it's because there's a lesson that you haven't learned yet or you haven't seen. The repeat problems, the same old problems that keep rolling into your life, well, what do you need to learn? Where do you need to grow? How do you ask a better question? Not, why does this keep happening? In that like kind of victim frustrated way of, why does this keep happening? What is it about this? Man, I keep having the same type of relationships. Well, where am I meeting these people? How am I connecting with them? What is the reason we connect? Am I showing my honest, genuine self? Or, here's the tougher one. Why do I keep meeting insecure, jealous people? And then you have that tough look in the mirror and go, because that's what I'm being. Because I've been there, guys, and it sucks. But I'd much rather have faced that, and now it's like grown so much as a result of facing that, than be blind to it and just pretend like it's everybody else's fault. So, I want to thank you all for listening today. That is all for today's episode. And if this is your first episode, be sure to subscribe to the podcast on iTunes, Stitcher, or Google Play so that you can get the most up-to-date episodes in the palm of your hand, on your computer, wherever you're listening to this as quickly as possible. And actually, as I say that, I'm realizing it's going to have to be in the palm of your hand, because I don't think this subscription thing will be popping up unless you're on the RSS feed. So, Google Play, iTunes, Stitcher to subscribe to the podcast. And if you haven't already, all right, guys, I'm getting jumbled up here. I got thrown off because I saw somebody I knew outside the car. Honest thing, I'm in the parking lot at work. So, subscribe if you haven't already. And then also, if you have anything that you would like to contact me about, if you'd like to reach out to give feedback on the show, connect with me, ask a question, ask something that you'd like me to answer on the air, I would love to hear from you. And you can send me an email at brian@overcominggraduation.com. That's BRIAN at overcominggraduation.com. And that is all for today, guys. I love you all. Thank you all for listening. Keep an eye out for those repeat problems because they're looking to teach you something. And when you're willing to look for the answer and start to try to do different things, try different ways of approaching it, it is amazing how your life can shift. I love you all. Have a great day. And I'll be talking to you again real soon.